about big moments. How about Troy Flanken with a drop on 3rd and 6? How about Troy Flanken with a false start on 3rd and 6 led to a 3rd and 11, which they could not convert? Cortland had 2 drops, one of which were on 3rd down, and one right through his hands.
Yeah.
Almost said like, oh, it's a little high, but you got to catch that ball. Cecil.
Yeah. I'm just glad it wasn't picked off because that's what I thought on that Sutton drop is like, oh, tips and overthrows, got to get those. So you got to be careful with that. And yeah, there were players that did let you down. This is on the coaches, right? They need better players at certain positions, ILB, running back, tight end, etc. So, we can have the players conversation, but there were times when I don't want to see Mac Hollins step over Pat Surtain. I don't want to see Cortland Sutton drop a pass that hits him in the hands on a critical play. Like there are moments when you're the captain, you're the special guy, you got to step up. You got to be special in that moment. And even Pat Surtain let you down. That never happens, and it happened yesterday, and it was awful.
Yeah. That was weird seeing him, like, gear down, basically.
Yeah, give up on a play.
That's exactly what it was, giving up on the play and gearing down. I don't know that I've ever seen that before with that player specifically.
Yeah.
Plenty of players have given up on plays in the history of sports, but PS2, an all-pro, a guy we love because he doesn't cheat the game, taking a play off or quitting on a play is the right term, as you said, just weird. Very weird to see.
You got to care. You know what I mean? And Pat
What do you think that
Surtain
was?
definitely cares.
Is that like hey, I know we have no chance here?
Yeah. It's not getting any help from your offense. Have your offense had a spark? You just sparked your defense. It doesn't mean you would have won. Josh Allen didn't even hardly do anything, and they won with ease. And it could have been worse if they wanted to. They could have really put it on you. Not 31. I'm talking like 50.
Yeah.
They could have put it on you, and they just didn't because they didn't have to. So if that's what that was, in my opinion, again, Pat Surtain cares. So why in that moment did he let up? Well, he knew he wasn't going to get any help. The interesting thing is after the game, our guy Scotty Gange from #9Sports catching up with Nick Benito. Nick Benito's crying.
Oh, man.
And like, hey, everyone doubted us and we're here and we made it, but we should have got more. Like, you see what it means to him because he cares. And it wasn't crying like baby cry. It was like crying because he's so pissed off that he can't control the emotion and has to, and tears just flow because of that emotion. So check it out on X. It was, honestly, it was great to see.
Yeah.
Because those guys that care, like Pat Surtain, like Nick Benito, those are the guys I want to build around. I want more. I want to clone. I want all that. The guys that are like, 1, 2, 3 Cancun, if anybody was like that in that locker room, yeah, see ya, Pollyanna.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't need you.
Well, and I would say it probably been like that the last 7, 8, 9 years, right? 8 years for sure of like, let's get through week 18 so I can go to Cancun.
Even some of your favorite veterans might have been like that.
Yep. And look, I'm not down on them. It's not the right approach, but I think some of that stuff is human nature, human instinct of like, we suck. We know we suck. Let's get out of this. I don't want to suck anymore.
Right.
I'm very glad. I'm actually glad to hear that there was some emotion in being upset. You should be emotional and upset. I'm seeing a few of you guys weigh in on the RamosLaw.com text line, and I like it. This from the 720-934. I'm taking the high road on this one. I'm a Broncos fan, and exciting times are ahead. 100%. That's exactly right. But today, we're giving you the reasons as to what went wrong yesterday.
Yeah.
There's now, 4 or 5 months of this. Hey, this is what went right through the season. Here's all the good things that came from the season. And trust me, there's a long list of those things that we're going to talk about. So, yeah, we're certainly going to get there.
You need a day.
Of course.
You need a day. Kev, is that drop loaded in? Because you know what I need? And this is what I thought the entire time. There's one thing that I need. This.
Going to need a minute or two alone, boys.
Is that Jack Nicholson?
Yeah.
Nice.
Play it again, Kev.
Going to need a minute or two alone, boys.
That's it. That's it. I just need like a day. I just need like a day. Tomorrow I'm going to be much different. And yes, I will be full of optimism. Why would you not want to be?
Right.
Because I've had some people on social network be like, oh, you're just like Pollyanna, just always optimist. I'm like, I want to run around being a crab ass. Be like, it's terrible, guys. It's awful, guys. Nothing works, guys. No, I'm not going to blow bubbles at this team.
No, not today for sure.
No, not today at all, and even not tomorrow. But I will look at this and be like, hey, it was a great season. I saw your tweet. I might have liked your tweet.
Oh,
Mace
thanks.
had a similar tweet. Not everyone was tweeting the same. But when you had said, like, hey, this is a great year. It's a great year, guys. And I put it out on my own Twitter, and I said, hey, it's been a great year, guys. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
But we already knew that. We already knew it was a great year. I went into Sunday knowing it was a great year. You had house money, and you just wet the bed.
Mm-hmm.
You had the ultimate gift from the football gods. Hey, go play. Go be loose. Go be free. Just go have fun. Did they look like they were having fun?
Not in the second half. And the defensive line, they didn't have any fun yesterday. Because you know why? They were too busy picking themselves up off the ground after the Bills' offensive line. All 6 of those dudes ran them into the dirt.
So you had the ultimate gift from the football gods, and you let everybody down. Why? Why? Like, you didn't have anything to worry about. They had all the pressure. But then you played like you had the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
What? It just didn't make any sense, especially after the first drive. First drive, I'm like, it's on.
Yeah.
Crowd was quiet, and all you needed was another touchdown, and the pucker factor would be strong with Bills Mafia. The tight sphincter syndrome was right there.
Exactly right.
And you didn't take advantage of it because you didn't score again. Mm-hmm. You barely moved the ball. You barely had the ball.
Yeah. I got to call out Oregon Trey one more time. We were talking about.
Do you like Oregon Trey?
I do.
Oh, okay.
And he can take it. That's why some of you guys on the text line are a little sensitive and you can't take it. You love to dish it out, but you can't take it, which tells me all I need to know about you. But my man Oregon Trey can go both. He can do it both, right? Take it and dish it, which I like.
Yeah.
But I got to call him out on this one because Oregon Trey, you're making me question whether or not I want you in my foxhole or not. You can't defend somebody by throwing somebody else under the bus. We're talking about Franklin having drops all year, and he wrote, well, Vele had a couple drops too.
Oh, God.
So, Trey, are you telling me that, like, if we were kids and we both got caught, like, stealing something from our dad's garage, and I didn't get in trouble with my parents, you're going to throw me under the bus? That's what I just learned about Oregon Trey.
It's like Christmas Story, where he says, hey, where'd you learn that word from? And then he calls up and gets beat over the phone.
You can hear his mom whooping his ass.
Yeah, I just college football fans, God bless you, but y'all are nuts. Because just because you wore an Oregon uniform doesn't mean you're beyond reproach. So please, can we talk about reality, please?
A little bit, please. A little bit. All right. I also want to hear from Sean Payton in this segment here, opening statements, and as you'll hear him say, at least he's aware of it. They could not stop the damn running game.
Yep.
Tip our hats to Buffalo. The things we felt we needed to do on the road to win, we didn't do nearly well enough. Time of possession was heavily tilted in their favor. We struggled consistently, whether it was third downs or running the football, and then, we never really had an answer to stop their running game. So when you play in a game like that, you're not rushing the passer nearly as much as you've been accustomed to. And so now it's run, play action. I thought we struggled on first down defense. Offensively, I thought we struggled on third down. Kicking game, I thought we lost that field position battle. It starts with me, and it's always a tough pill to swallow, especially when it's a postseason game. Proud of the fight. There's a lot of disappointed guys in that locker room. At halftime, I was comfortable with where things were. You're on the road, and we played pretty good red zone defense, forced field goals. But the second half, we just didn't play well enough.
I don't like that. I don't like that answer when he says at halftime I was comfortable. I don't want you to be comfortable. It's the blankety-blanket playoffs, and it's win or go home. Guess where you are today, and guess where you're not going next week. You're home and you're staying home, or you're going to your cottage in New Orleans. Like, that's what you're doing. You're home, you're staying home, or you're going to Cancun, New Orleans, whatever. Like, that's what you're doing. Comfortable at halftime, you should have known at halftime you were lucky. You were lucky to be in that moment.
100%.
Buffalo hadn't yet woken up. And if you understand the Buffalo Bills offense the way I know Sean Payton understands it, you would realize they're not doing anything that they do normally because we're not good enough. So you were comfortable in a dogfight, a street fight, right? You were comfortable in this street fight going in, hey, it's 10-7, we're right there, but also knowing they're not running their normal playbook. They're just bullying us around. Those guys are getting tired.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so comfortable. No, you should have went in, understanding that, you didn't play your best football and it was close. That's not comfortable. So maybe Sean would want to rephrase that a little bit. He did discover electricity, so he can do anything.
Right, of course.
He can do it all. But, like, going to halftime comfortable, baby, it's the playoffs. I want you booting somebody's ass. I don't care if it's 10-7, 17-10,
Yep.
whatever that score is. I want you motivating blankety-blankers, getting guys fired up, not comfortable. You should never be comfortable in this game.
I would, this might be a homework assignment for Kevin or I, or maybe even you, Cecil, to get on it. But I would love to go back to Sean's opening statements. They played 18 games this year, right? How many of them end with him, it starts with me? And I know that's the cliche thing, and every coach is going to get up there and say it. But all right, so it's just a full-on cliche, and you don't ever mean what you say in those moments? Because you can come up there after 17, 18 games and tell me it starts with me, or let's go to the losses 7 or 8 times where you say it starts with me and nothing changes. So then it's just hollow, and it doesn't mean anything when you're standing up there and saying things. And that might be the case for everything he says, because Sean thinks we're complete idiots, and that's okay. It's his right to think that.
Right.
It's a two-way street sometimes. But that's just that to me is like, all right, Sean, now you're just saying it for the sake of saying it, because it doesn't actually mean anything. You actually don't believe that. You just know that we want to hear you say that. You say it and nothing changes.
Yeah, so change it, and now you have to change it in August, preseason. You have to change it in the regular season.
Real time.
You have to change it later on. Like, you were exposed in terms of the holes on your roster. And if you look at the 7 seeds, since they introduced the 7 seed, they've won, one game? I see that tweet that Spivak shared from Mike Renner. Like, the 7 seed is not where you want to be. And I will say this. Mason and I talked about this last night driving from Buffalo to Cleveland. You want to be a 13-win team. I think there's a line of delineation between the elite and the playoff teams. The Broncos are a playoff team. They're not a bad team, and there's a lot of bad teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
We had to get to 17 before we got to a 500 team, 9-8, above 500.
Yikes.
We had to get to 17 in the draft order. The Broncos are either 19 or 20. There's varying websites because they actually, even though they beat the Buccaneers, they don't have the tiebreaker because of strength of schedule.
Yeah, that was
Their
weird.
schedule was tougher
I did not know that.
than the Buccaneers. Anyway, we'll figure it out. So 19 or 20 is where they're drafting. So they are a playoff team. But to be truly elite, you need 13 wins. Can you be a 13-win team this next year? Well, you got a lot of work to do to get there. That 10 to 13 gap, it's 3 games. Oh, hey, and every game except for 2, and we'll take out the playoffs, every game in the regular season except 1 was a 1-score loss. Of your 7 losses, only 1, the Baltimore game, was by more than 1 score. Okay, so you say 3, well, ball bounces differently. We make that up. Now you got your 13 wins. No, not so fast, Cahotek. What it is here, and what it was, is that 3-game gap that you need to make up. You need to be a 13-win team to be truly elite, to hang with Buffalo, to hang with Baltimore, to hang with the Lions. You need to be 13 wins. That gap might be larger than your gap was from like 6 wins to 10 wins.
Right.
I know that's 4. So but it's.
But you're saying the challenge of closing
the challenge
that gap.
is much larger because you don't want to exhale and be like, we're a playoff team.
Yeah.
This year is different, but next year, your standard that you started, Sean, is completely different. So it's not like, oh, we made the 7 seed, guys. Wild card weekend. This wild card weekend, outside of 1 game, sucked.
Mm-hmm. The 1 game came last night. It was the last.
Yeah.
I guess there's 1 tonight too, but last of the weekend.
Super wild card weekend, not so super. So like you want to be one of those not so. You're a playoff team, but you've got to be more. You've got to be a Super Bowl contender, even though you're in the playoff and you technically are. What's your realistic chances? My heart said, I'm picking the Broncos, 35-31. My head said, pick the Bills, 35-31. But I thought you'd score 31.
Yeah.
Not 7. That's why I say it's an embarrassing loss.
I want to continue hearing a little bit from Sean Payton. One of the ways they got embarrassed is by James Cook just torching their defensive unit, specifically that defensive line, getting into the 2nd and 3rd levels regularly throughout that 60-minute contest. Sean Payton was asked after the game, hey, Sean, why couldn't y'all stop the run?
We'll take a look at the film, but obviously, whether it was the fits inside or the support, that's a broad-based question because they ran a lot of different runs. And so I'm sure there's a lot of different reasons.
I disagree 100%, 1,000% on that. No, they didn't, Sean. They put a sixth offensive lineman on the line about 90% of the time, and then they just ran down your throat because of willpower. That's what it was. The Buffalo Bills wanted that more than the Broncos defensive line did, and their offensive game plan was better than that of the game plan of Vance Joseph to scheme against that defensive, or for that defensive line. I don't think it was that complex.
What they
I think
did
it
was
pretty
smart.
damn simple, actually, and very smart.
Yeah, what they did was smart. They said, hey, where's 15 at?
Let's go.
Yeah, they double teamed him. They double teamed Nick Benito. They ran underneath where he once was. Jonathan Cooper, they allowed to be one-on-one, and he was so close. But Josh Allen, Josh Allen was playing with his food yesterday. When Josh Allen would break off the run and Coop's like chasing him, it was like, Coop's going to get him. And then Josh does this little thing, and then Coop didn't get him because Josh Allen is amazing, and he's tough to stop. But that shouldn't have been your plan. You should have had a different plan. You shouldn't have been comfortable. Was Vance Joseph comfortable? Is Vance Joseph comfortable now as the guy that most people are pointing to as the scapegoat for the season, for the collapse for the Denver Broncos? Who is to blame? Well, a lot of fans are blaming Vance Joseph. I don't know if upstairs in the building they're going to have the same sentiment. But right now, we don't know if there's any staff changes coming. I'm not predicting that. I don't want that necessarily, but it's now in the conversation as Vance Joseph takes on these other interviews.
Did you, I'm sure you didn't because you're up in the press box there and it's, the fishbowl kind of feeling, but there was a moment it was the fourth quarter, latter part of the game.
Oh, when they were yelling at each other?
Yeah, and it didn't, I don't know that it was a full
It went viral. It went viral.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see it on Twitter, but I saw it in real time happening on CBS.
That's how I saw it.
That it was almost like, I don't know, they exchanged a couple of words, and VJ kind of goes back at Sean, then Sean walks away, but then kind of turns back. This is what caught my attention the most. I don't mind the interaction. There's going to be some times when you disagree with your counterpart or your coworker, and if you have a good relationship, that's actually going to make the both of you better. So I like those kind of interactions. But the way it happened at the end, Sean walking away, and VJ's back on the headset because his defensive unit was out on the field at the time, so he's engaged in what's going on in the game. But Sean just turns back and gives him this this nasty stank look. You know when you like what you see and you turn back and you go, ooh, you know what I mean? It was the exact opposite of that.
Did you do the meme on me?
Yeah,
kind of. Guys walking with his girlfriend. It's like,
yeah.
oh, wait, hey, look at that.
I know I got this on my arm, but that's pretty nice too.
Hey, look it over there.
It's like I try to tell Kelsey all the time. I'm like, hey, I got a nice truck, but when another truck drives by that's nice, I'm going to check that truck out too.
I got a nice Jeep.
Yeah.
When I see a Jeep, I
Right.
go, whoa, look
See
at that.
And you see it right there, that look
Little
back.
stank look.
Like,
right?
is that look back like, this mother,
blanky,
know what?
blanky, woo.
Or was that look back like, well, got beat by a better team today? I don't think it was the latter.
Yeah, and then VJ looks at him, but Sean's already looked away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then Sean kind of walks back over, some words exchanged. This is football. It's all about motions, right?
Yeah.
And this is going to happen. Nobody's feelings are hurt like Russell Wilson, so I don't think you have to worry about that. But, yeah, that is, hey, man, I expect more from you.
Is that just heat of the moment thing, or should we be reading into that a little bit more?
Oh, I think we always should be reading into it.
Really?
With Sean Payton.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, with Vance Joseph, Vance gets, back a little bit in his kitchen, too. And he does give him a stare. We can't see VJ's expression, but he's not looking over there blowing him kisses.
No, he's not.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and Sean likes that. He wants that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He doesn't want you to just sit there with a blank stare like Russell Wilson.
Right.
No, bow up a little bit. Show me it means something.
Mm-hmm.
And Vance Joseph did that. It's just Sean, is his mind made up? What's the old hip-hop song? Got my mind made up.
made up.
Yeah, come on.
Isn't
get in
the
too.
two New York guys? What the hell are they?
Is
it Mobb Deep?
Right. No, it's not Mobb Deep. I don't listen to Mobb Deep, but
It is the New York
guys.
guys.
It was Outlaws? Was it Outlaws
Oh,
with
it was.
Tupac?
Yeah, it was. Yes, it
I've
was.
always
Yeah.
said, and it was all right. I've always said it, but I was like, I love Tupac. And then the Outlaws come on, so I'm just not like, nah, because they had that one album, Tupac and the Outlaws. And I was like, how much Tupac?
Right.
Especially posthumous Tupac, where it's like, wow, are you still down? That was a great double disc, right?
Oh, yeah.
kids are out there like, what's a disc? It was a great double album.
Yeah.
So there was a few posthumous Tupac albums that were like really, really good. Some they're just, milking it, whatever. But then when I think Tupac and the Outlaws came out after he had passed, although I believed in the 7-year theory because I'm a moron. So it was like 2003 because Tupac was shot in 96, right?
Yeah.
So I would tell everyone, maybe I was drinking too much Old English, but I'd sit around, I'd tell everyone, boy, let me tell you about the 7-year theory because he said it in Machiavelli. He's going to be back.
Right.
So I was like 2003, March, whatever. And then the day came and passed and I was it was like Y2K, right? I was such an idiot because I was like, I thought